What's up, everyone? Welcome to RSP. We're here to take you on a quick facility tour, highlight a few of the cool new pieces of equipment we have, and just show you around. Probably the coolest piece of equipment we have in the weight room right now is our Proteus. The thing is state of the art, 3D resistant, so no matter which way you move, it's resisting you. It's purely concentric, so we can have guys train and not get sore on it, but we're getting a ton of muscle activation. And we're able to move in 3 planes of motion, which is obviously huge for rotational athletes. So one feature we love on here is the performance testing. We go through this with all of our evals. We have our own evaluation that we take them through. As we run through this, we get not only power output, but also acceleration. We're able to compare against people in the same age or same level of play. So if we have a college baseball player come in here, we can say, hey, look, you're at the 50th percentile in the power and the 70th in the acceleration, which is very cool. So they have an understanding about where they are and where they may need to improve. We can also look at things like speed versus overall strength, and then program and create better programs, more individualized programs for these athletes based on what we're finding in this testing. So the software is awesome. You get a report, you have your own portal as a player to look at all the different numbers that we can come up with here. And it's been huge in quantifying results that athletes are getting and also helping them understand and getting buy-in from them because they're seeing the improvements.
All right, guys, so this is our vertical jump mat. We use this to test our athletes with their jump height, their ground contact time. Also is a good indicator of RSI, which is our reactive strength index. It kind of gives us an idea of where you're at on the elasticity board, whether you're more strength dominant, more elastic dominant, or low strength. Now I'm just gonna kind of show you real quick the cool features we have. So we have it set up first on vertical mode. And this one we can set up to where we can show it to where it's just one rep will show, and I'll just show you that real quickly. Come down, jump up, land. You'll see that pops up right there. But if you're doing multiple jumps in a row, we have a feature on this phone that all we have to do is just put 5 right here. As you'll see, as we jump, you'll get 5 in a row. And then you can compare every single jump from the first to the last jump. And then also another really cool feature is when we are actually doing an assessment, we'll go into this phone, click your name, and select 4-2 RSI mode. And what we're gonna do with this one is we'll grab a box. And this is gonna show us our reactive strength index, which is actually a really cool metric we can measure. So we'll be here, 1, 2, 3. And as you can see right here, 1 is green, 3 are red. That's because we have the contact threshold set up to 0.2 seconds. So if you're higher than that time, then it's gonna be red. If you're lower than that time, it'll be green. But if we hit continue right here, based off those 4 jumps, it'll put me in a strength dominant. So that means I do not have a lot of elasticity, or RSI, my reactive strength is not as good, but I have a little bit of strength. So that helps us program with what we need to do in the jumping portion of the athlete's program.
One of the newest pieces of equipment we have in here is the eccentric K pulley and K box. This is the K pulley. We can slide this up and down like we would a cable rack and use it at a bunch of different heights in a bunch of different ways. And again, in all 3 planes of motion, which is huge for our rotational athletes. What is different about this machine? It's flywheel technology. So the harder that I pull out the more intense I get with my motion, the more energy it stores up and pulls you back in. So I really have to be able to slow it down, reverse the inertia, and pull back in that way. So again, when I have something like this, the only limiting factor is my imagination on what I can do with it. We love it for the rotational aspect, so I'm pulling out this way, and again, have to resist on the way back in. So strengthening the body in all 3 planes of motion, and having something that's going to match your intensity is awesome. When we have athletes that are serious about getting better, this thing will kick your butt. One thing we're extremely fortunate to have is a large open area for turf and some med ball walls. So obviously, again, training mainly rotational athletes, we were going to throw a lot of med ball walls. So to have such a huge space to do that in is really awesome. We can have multiple people throwing at one time, not worry about them getting in each other's way. We also have the plyo ball wall there with our logo underneath. So for our throwers, that's where they start warming up. And as you see throughout the whole facility, it's just a very large open space where we can do sled pushes, agility, plyos with different types of jumps, different types of resisted sprints, different type of movements, and just have tons of space to operate. So very fortunate to have this area, and we use this a lot.
Okay, so these are our free lap cones. So we use these to time any and all of our sprints. So as you can see, it's just 2 cones. We can set them up at any distance that we want. This distance right here is just 10 yards for demonstration. But ultimately with any sprints, the effort is what we want to drive the adaptation that we have. But we like to measure things, track data, all that. So that's why we have these. So we time every sprint that every athlete does. So that way they can track it in their app and measure their progress that way. So pretty simple setup. So we just set the cones at the distance that we want. And then we grab one of these chips. We put them on the front. So that way the measuring point is the same every time. Okay, and I'm just gonna jog through here. So set up, and we're gonna sprint through. And then on the iPad, we'll display our time. And then if we have it set up properly, it should show our miles per hour that we reached during that specific sprint.
One of our most used pieces of equipment is our bar speed analyzer. So we have a Rep 1 unit here. This will tell you how fast the bar is moving, and specifically the peak speed during a lift that we do, so that we can then program in more of a speed-based training program or velocity-based training, VBT, instead of just constantly lifting heavy weight. So we always want to build up a max strength foundation in an athlete, but once they hit certain thresholds, we're kind of wasting our time trying to build more max strength. We would rather build more power and speed, which will translate better into the sport and get those on-field results that we're looking for. So deadlift, for instance, here, I'm able to set up the unit right here attached to the bar here. I can stand up as fast as possible, keep in good form. I see the speed there, reset, go again, look at the speed. So every rep is being measured. 2 things here. 1, I can compete against myself. So I got 0.8 the first one. All right, I need to move faster. Let me get 0.85, 0.86, whatever that is, and see myself getting better and moving faster with the same weight. Second thing is we can program and control intensity or fatigue better because we're looking at the number on something like this and the speed, instead of just saying, hey, add more weight when they may be fatigued and run down, and then we're just kind of hitting a dead horse, beating a dead horse if that's the case. So we use this for a lot of different things, auto-regulation, and then helping with increased speed and power are the 2 main things, and it's been huge with our athletes, especially the more advanced ones.